Hello, I wanted to share with you my June entry into the June Just Junk Journal Challenge by Dear Julie Julie. And this is the finished journal. It's about 6 3/4 wide by about 9 1/4, and it's really thick. It's about 2.5 inches thick, and it's kind of got a little alligator mouth going on. So when I squish it down, it's about 2.5 inches. For the cover, I used, well, for much of the journal, I used an old agenda. And the wonderful part about this agenda was that many of the pages had almost like a scrapbook paper on the back that coordinated with the cover. So I used those throughout the book to kind of balance it. And then I used scrapbook paper, pad I bought for like $5. Let's see. Recollections. I bought it, I think, for $5 a while back. And as you can see, I haven't used much at all of it. This challenge, I didn't need as much scrapbook paper as I thought I would. So this is the cover. For the spine, we were allowed, for the entire journal, we were allowed 2 items of fabric. One was a piece of clothing and one was a linen. This is a pair of capri pants, and this is an eyelet pillow sham, and all the white in here came from the pillow sham. It had like a backing on it of solid white, almost like a muslin, and then the front was the eyelet lace, so I got kind of double duty out of it. The spine is made from an old cereal box, and I see I have some loose pieces right here I have to see about repairing, and I accidentally went over one on one of these, so I went ahead and just made X's up here. This here is part of the Just Junk Other of the 11 required items. This is the embellishment. It's made from 2 bread tags and a key that came with something I purchased online. And the bread tags have old stamps on them. And the string came with the key. The agenda already had the eyelets in the back, and it had an old worn out piece of elastic to hold it together, so I replaced that with the drawstring from the capri pants. On the front, I used a Dear Julie Julie digital from At the Beach. All of the digitals in here are from that same kit, and let's get inside. So the first page here, I generally put a library card at the beginning of my journals, and this one was from the mini challenge in a challenge 6.1, and we were allowed to use a little bit of extra fabric, and that's where this green comes in. I made a little library card with an old cupcake box. This is a page from the original agenda. This is the calendar page for the 11 required items. And this is a tag made from the calendar, and that's that white fabric from the back of the pillow sham. Amazon packaging. This was Cool Paper. It's a coloring book that I found used at the Goodwill, and I tore out all the beach pages and used most of them throughout this book. So when you see these black and white images, those are all from that coloring book. This is an example of the calendar page with kind of scrapbook paper on the back. These are also from the 6.1 challenge. And I just used a digital, put a piece of the cupcake box, made a little mini tag. This paper came from a pack of colorful filler paper. I just used paper within the journal. Another one was coloring book images. Challenge 6.1. And then this is my Cool Paper embellishment. And I made a trifold wallet with 3 inserts. And these yellowish pieces all came from an old Good Housekeeping magazine. Yes, Good Housekeeping. And even the little stamp came from the Good Housekeeping magazine. This is the postage is from my one stamp set that we were allowed. And this is a security envelope here. This came from one of the agenda pages. This is a coloring book page. And this string here was the original elastic from the agenda. Okay. Next is an old envelope and a digital. I just put some scrapbook pieces on there. This tag also came from Mini Challenge and a Challenge. I just made a little envelope. And this is all made out of the Dear Julie Julie digital. I think this is my embellishment for the Dear Julie Julie digital. This is my clear paper page. And the clear packaging actually had green on the back and it was clear on the front. So I used the green as a page and the clear as a page. And this is the page that actually counted as my challenge. I used some of that white fabric from the Sham, some clear plastic packaging for decor, and the middle is actually a piece of hot glue or glue. I think it actually was the glue off the top of one of my fabric tacks. You know how it gets the glue here? I just pulled it off and I had it sitting on my desk. I'm like, oh, that's the perfect center for my flowers. So I glued it in there. This is scrapbook paper, and then the scrapbook paper, this one is inside the pocket. This one's on the outside. So those are my 3 embellishments on my page. On this side is Cool Paper Other tag. It has it written on there. And 4x6 photo actually can slide in here, but I went ahead and put the tag in there for now. And this came from the Capri Pants. I just put a piece of scrapbook paper there, envelope there. My tag for, I think I just made this tag just for fun, I think. Or is it packaging? No, packaging, because that's the packaging for seeds, I do believe. Paper packaging, I believe. I'm not sure. This is my, I should have left my sticky notes. This is my security envelope tag. I used several different security envelopes on here. Bread tags. This was torn off of something. May have just been a piece of scrap that was, no, everything came from something that was allowed in the book. I don't know what that came from. Maybe it was just a piece of torn, like this is a shoelace. And then this was, I think, torn off the side of something that was a cool paper, not cool paper, but a just junk other item. 2 bread tags, and these are my bling that I was allowed, so many blings from the 6.1 challenge. Okay, that's the other side of that. And here's just a calendar page. Like I said, I used a lot of these. I think I used a 2-page spread of them in every signature, because I like that they just have lines. You can journal on those. And then they have this beautiful scrapbook paper on the back. Coloring book page. Amazon packaging. A guest list out of the agenda. I used 5 of these with the tabs throughout the agenda for each of the, one for each of the signatures. We were allowed to use the clips out of our binding kit, and generally when we're allowed to do that, I use these pretty gold clips for my binding kit, and then that's a piece of Capri Pants. This is my embellishment using the security envelopes. I made a little mini envelope with a little card inside. And I just tucked a little tag.
Yeah, take your SD card out.
And then inside the window you can see the shells. And then when I take this off, okay, there we go. There's the slide out inside as well. That's on a piece of old cardboard from some kind of packaging. Alright, Amazon packaging. Old school paper that my son had. It's pretty bright color, so I went ahead and just kept it. So you'll see some information about DNA in here. Envelope, digital, coloring book page. This is my Just Junk Other page, because I originally did a different page, and I decided it didn't meet the challenge. So I switched and made one out of an old coffee filter. We don't use coffee filters anymore. We use only the Keurig with the pods. So I had a bunch of coffee filters, and I said, well, I'll try it with the coffee filter. So I stamped on it. I used some glitter paint on it, and I used a fussy cut from one of the calendar pages. And this is my clear embellishment. It's a pocket, and it's filled with images on a card, and that's the fast food napkin. I found that I love fast food napkins for decoupaging. I made a pocket out of this. This was actually originally an envelope within the agenda. This is my big old tag made with paper, the Just Junk paper, cool paper. And I used an old dictionary, fast food napkin, pieces from a sewing pattern, an old stamp, some scrap there. This is actually a button that came, and that's the tag that was with it. This all came from actually a piece of clothing I bought at Goodwill, and it had the button still, like for replacing the button, so I yanked it off. And like I said, this was a shoelacer, I do believe. I know it was junk. And then I stamped, I used my one stencil on it. And these challenges have really gotten me to start using more. I like that she requires us to use 3 embellishments on each thing, because I generally don't use 3 different things. I'll just stick like 3 items, but I've been trying to really vary it up. This is my scrapbook paper entry, and I just made a little pocket and put some little digitals inside out of scrapbook paper. Same things. I used one of those coloring book pages and just made a pocket and put a tag inside. And I think, yeah, that's from the Dear Julie Julie Digital tag. Okay, so this is a Dear Julie Julie Digital. That's a Dear Julie Julie Digital. I stapled some of the capri pants on there, and the tag was just an old piece of cardboard from something. And there's some of the DNA information. Alright, this is my page made entirely from fabric, and it has a piece of fabric here. I used the rest of the bling that we were allowed from the challenge 6.1. I used my stencil to decorate it, and this one kind of had stumped me at first. I'm like, how am I going to do it? And I had originally folded it in half, and I was going to put it in the signature, but instead I decided just to attach it right to the front of another. But I made it flippable, so it's considered a page. But it was easier than trying to fold it and sew it into the signature, and it might get buckled and messed up. So I really like how that turned out, and it's kind of like a veil for Let Your Dreams Set Sail. And then this, as you can see through here, it's a insert from a binder I used. Dear Julie Julie Digital, I really like that one. More Amazon packaging, more envelope. This is my fabric embellishment. It's a flip. And underneath, Dear Julie Julie Digital. Made a very simple fabric flip. I consider the 3 items to be, this is the one fabric, and these 3 are on top of it. They're my 3 items. I hope that was okay. If not, I'll have to go back and add some to it. This was my original other, because she had said that we could use sewing patterns as the cool thing other. But because I did attach it to a piece of cardboard, I decided that it probably didn't meet the challenge, because she said the page actually had to be made from the item. So I went back and made the coffee filter page, but I still included it because I loved it. That button came from an old clothing piece, and the flowers are made from sewing pattern, and the blue flower I think was made from just old piece of paper. This is my Just Fabric tag. I made another little rosette and attached some more of that lacy looking edging from my, I got a lot of use out of that pillow sham, I'll tell you what. And then digital. This is my security envelope. Okay, this is my page made from the packaging, no, gift bag and box. So I didn't have a gift bag or a box. So I used the box from some cupcakes and the bag from Longhorn. So this page, it's one page, but I glued it together to make a pocket. And you can see inside the Longhorn, not Longhorn, Firehouse Subs. And I need to reglue that, but you can see inside Firehouse Subs. I made this, and 5 pages had to be interactive too, which I think I have way more than that, but this is totally interactive. This came from the side where the box clips together, and I made it like a little clippy tag. And then inside here is the tag I made from the bag. And that's a bag that something else came in. And then, yeah, I made it into a tuck there. Okay. And inside here is a pull out made from the cupcake box. I used some bubble wrap. I covered it first with a piece of packaging, not the Amazon packaging, but like the kind from like Dollar Tree that they put to wrap your glasswares in. I used bubble wrap, and then I attached a page to it. And I used the bubble wrap here too, and I stamped some postage. Okay, on this side is my gift bag embellishment, and I used the box from the cupcakes, and I made a little flippy notebook out of the gift bags, or the bags that I chose. That's a Burger King bag. And I put a couple little Dear Joey Joey digitals here. I made that into a little tuck pocket. Attached some things there to kind of cover up the DNA info. And this is my page made from packaging paper. This is, I think, Amazon packaging. That's that packaging I was saying, like you wrap things in. And then I just put a coloring book page. I splattered him with some green paint. I did the bubble wrap on the outside, and I did the stamping. I really like how he turned out. He's one of my favorite pages of the book. It's a really thick book with a lot of pages. This is my security envelope page. One of them. I think the other side's the one I actually decorated. But that's the other half of it. This is my Just Junk paper packaging.
We dragged it over from a lot.
Okay. This is my Just Junk paper packaging. This is paper packaging out of something. This is the page that's in a picture frame. I cut it. The doily and the bling came from the 6.1 challenge. This is my cool paper embellishment. I just took some, that's the DNA paper, as I lovingly call it here. And these are my pieces of old notebook paper. And the centers are just punched out of my 3-hole punch. Not my 3-hole punch, my single hole punch. This came out of a book. This came out of a puzzle book. This book came from the same paper as that. Coloring book page. Some more tags. More. This was my tag made from the cereal box, cupcake box, and the bag from Firehouse Subs. This was my scrapbook paper entry. I think. I don't know, but it's cute. See? I used a playing card. No, it isn't. It's a mini challenge in challenge 6.1. I remember now because we were allowed to use the card as the base. Okay. And then this is my packaging paper tag. And it's made from the Amazon packaging, the wrapper packaging, and then this was packaging out of, I think, a Misfit Market box. And then this was some of the lace that was left over from one of the mini challenges in the challenge. Okay. This is my calendar page embellishment. Put a card. And put 2 tags. And then it's just the strings that came off that pillow sham. Another one of those clips. It's my envelope. Oops. There's my security envelope page. Okay, so this is one of my favorites too. I used some fast food napkin and then some security envelope, and I feel like it just made it look like the beach. I thought it was so cute. It's a security envelope. This is the security envelope pocket, the clear part, and you can put something inside. This came off of the agenda. This is some scrapbook paper, and Dear Julie Julie Digital. This one, just a digital lobster. I thought that was cute. This is my clear packaging tag. It's made from clear packaging with the Dear Julie Julie images, stamping, and some more of that weird string. Oh, this is my paper packaging embellishment. This is the paper packaging from the Misfit Market box. And this is a flip-flop, but I made it like a modified double flip-flop. I don't know what you would call it. But I did like the flip-flop, but I made them flip-flop into each other. Made out of Amazon packaging. And next page. I made a few pages directly from the Dear Julie Julie Digital. That's just the bag handle from the sub bag. I just untwisted it and made that. This was packaging. The tag for the packaging. Paper. So this was made from, and thank you came on it. Made from like a pack of cards. Starfish. Okay, this was from 6.2 challenge. I used the sequins, the guest check, and some clear packaging. And I love how the shells look at the bottom of this page. I think I covered everything on here. If I didn't, I'll try to write everything in the description, and everything is posted in the actual Dear Julie Julie Just Junk June group in a photo album. So I know all my bases are covered. I'm just not sure if I mentioned everything as I went through the book because it is a thick book. So I hope you enjoyed this 24-minute video and have a great day.